You're gonna want to hear this. The following is guaranteed to knock your ears right off. Not intended for the faint of heart.
All right, and we're on. This is the Lounge Around podcast with your host, Liam Saranich, with my co-host, Matt.
Hello.
And we have two special guests tonight, Matt. Do you want to introduce them, or should I?
I'll introduce one, you introduce one.
Great.
Well, special guest number one, Karynn. Woo!
Yep, that's me. Thank you.
Welcome back, Karynn.
Thank you.
You haven't been here since the Broadway
Yes.
musical
It's
episode.
been a hot minute, but I appreciate the 80s slow clap for my return.
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course. What else are we supposed to do here, right?
Yeah. We
90s
don't go
slow
off
clap.
track.
Yeah, I wish.
And then I'll introduce the other one.
Of course.
New first-time guest, Xy.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going. You know, it's going,
Welcome.
it's flowing, all that.
We should get a clap machine.
Yeah, applause.
Yeah.
Anytime you speak, we probably won't use it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
See, we
Thanks.
need a laugh track for when you talk.
Yeah,
Or
thanks.
booze.
Yeah. We did have a boo track one time. One time I had it on the laptop. I would just keep playing it every time he spoke. It was a great time. It was an awesome night. Probably the
Yeah.
best episode we had.
I think it's actually got the worst ratings out of every episode.
No, I think it was actually the best.
Oh, wait. On what metric?
Mine. Does that matter, right?
It's all right.
Matt, today you're very upset. You're a very angry boy today.
Oh, yeah. Of course. You know, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Everything's going wrong. You have sweaty hands. That was actually my biggest problem.
This is your biggest problem.
My biggest problem was my sweaty hands.
Is that why you're upset?
That was the main reason I was upset.
I knocked on his door. I literally, because I heard you playing a game, and I know you get upset when I knock on your door. So I just knocked on the door and went like, just super light. I was like, Kiskin? And he was like, what?
Dude, I'm literally about to clutch a 1v4, and I'm not the last guy, and the guy go, oh, I have a question. Was that not a question? Like, what are you...
I was gonna
Say your
ask.
question.
I was gonna ask if he can ask you to come on the show. So then I left and I texted
In the
him.
middle
I was
of the
like,
game.
I was like, I didn't know he was. I didn't know he was clutching. You don't know,
Not in the middle of the game.
dude. He was so upset. I heard like loud repeated claps at one point.
I'm like, what are you talking to me?
And I definitely, if I was in y'all's dorm before, I think probably in Nutmeg or whatever, like I definitely went over there one time and heard Matt screaming over the game, like, "Whoa! Oh my god!
I missed it.
Whoa! I love it." He's like, "God damn!"
I'm literally like we're neighbors to each other, so I'm like right across from his door, and all I hear is just like and just I hear keyboard clicking and then just a bunch of clapping.
Dude, there's sometimes like I literally like nowadays I used to like actually like go full on like bang, like if something bad happened, but I keep it down now. So I do something a little more tame. I just like
Clap.
I go like
You clap.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We gotta like strike something down. What are you doing?
like Zeus's thunder, bang.
Yeah. So, Sai, you're doing a play,
I am doing a play.
and do you mind describing what's the name of the play again?
Oh, so the play is The Last American Jackrabbit.
Okay. And do you mind elaborating what that is? Because
Oh,
to
yeah.
me, just sounds like
Discovery Channel Animal Planet.
yeah.
Hey, actually, I mean
Oh,
that's
is
not
it
bad
either?
either.
Documentary?
Oh, is it a nature documentary?
No.
Are you putting him on there?
Yeah.
You guys will not survive the rating.
Kiskin is actually the jackrabbit.
Can I please petition to have him on there
On
in
the
some
show?
form, just in some
Maybe.
form as a prop? I don't-
Maybe.
As
Yeah,
a prop, can I be the
really
chair?
good.
Like if there's a chair in there, can I
Be
be it?
the dog that tries
The
to
chair
sit.
that gets thrown across the room.
Yeah.
Can we like work that in somehow?
I can figure it out.
Okay.
Ask the
figure it
writers'
out.
room.
All right.
I might be sick that day, but
No,
I'll try my best.
You are so going up there.
You're gonna be healthy that day. I'll tell you that.
I'll shoot you with like adrenaline going in there. But you're saying,
Yeah, no. So it's a play about. It takes place in the 40s, and it's about this older man who's a veteran, and he meets this this younger boy who's like really eager to join World War II, and it takes place in 3 settings. So they're kind of. It takes place with them meeting on the bench like throughout the years, and then it takes place in this prison cell, where our main character Ray is not going by his actual name, and it just hops back and forth through time where you figure out why Ray is in jail and what happened to like this whole mentor father-son kind of relationship that he had with this boy.
Yeah, sounds like a little bit of. Oh, I turned my mic up a lot. My bad. That was loud.
You can actually put it a little lower if you want.
Probably. My bad. No, what I was gonna say, it sounds has some parts of like Shawshank Redemption in it a little bit.
You know,
if that is, am I too on the nose?
No, you're not too on the nose. It's a little bit more than that.
Okay. I'm not saying that's what it sounds like. I'm saying there's some elements.
There's definitely those kind of elements. I see how you're relating to that. It is, you know, but it's I think more unique in what I had originally thought of directing. But
did you write this play or
no? Kane wrote this.
Our roommate Kane did. Okay.
Yes,
all right,
he did.
So now I'll bring this up to him then.
Yeah. So he came to me a couple years ago and was just like, oh.
That's so what he does.
He's just like,
I like walk in the door. I'm like, hey, Kane. He's like, like he's just
like literally.
I literally call them like inaudible Kane noises. Like that's what the
I believe he's a surviving Neanderthal that missed the ice age. He wasn't frozen, but he found a way. It's like the movie Encino Man with Brendan Fraser and he's like the caveman. I feel like he's Encino Man.
He
gives me that vibe.
I know he fits in like a couple of help me.
Because he'll grunt like that and he'd be like help, and I'm like what?
Or you get a I don't know, man. I don't know what to do with this, man.
Like, oh god.
Yeah, he's a wild one. But so Kane wrote the thing, and this is your first time directing something?
So yes and no.
Okay.
This is my first time directing like a full length play.
Yeah.
But last semester actually directed my own like personal stage piece, but I also directed a short film. Which was like a 15-minute short film. So it's not my first time directing. But I'm a directing concentration. So that's also, you know. Do you feel like you're well prepared for this one and everything? I think I'm prepared enough. I haven't had a lot of directing experience, but I've had a lot of experience working on shows and acting and like just taking different classes and trying to get like well-rounded in theater and film as a whole. So I feel like that has prepared me to direct this. When and where is the play? So right now it's November 1st at 7:30 p.m. in the Black Box Theater in the Fine Arts Center. At Eastern Connecticut. State University. Cool.
We're not
Just
sponsored.
a shameless plug. Just try to get that out there so people will show up. Yeah, of course. Do you think this is something you want to do for a career, like directing and everything? Oh yeah. I was really gung ho about being a forensic psychologist. Yeah, I remember talking about you once, like 2 years ago, I think about that. And then I was really gung ho about it, and I was like, okay. It was time to sign up for like majors, and I just was like, I don't know who I'm lying to. I wanted to be like, I wanted to work, specifically on film, but like I've opened up to theater a lot more. I was just like, I want to work on like creating like live projects that people see. Like ever since I was a little girl, so I was just like, I actually don't imagine myself doing anything else. And I pretended for years like I did it, and I was just like, yeah, no, I got to do this. I mean, it was the same thing for me. Like I was a history major for like the first freshman year to like halfway through sophomore year, and then I was like, started doing this with Matt, and then I was like, why? I started doing this for an extra credit for a class, like the radio show, and then I was like, why am I doing this? I want to create a podcast. I want to create things. I think me and Matt, I think we work well together.
I don't know.
In some capacities.
In some very niche areas.
Yeah, in some niche areas. Like, we can bounce off each other.
Like you,
a little bit.
I think you're good at praising me. I think that's like one of your better strong suits.
Praise you like I should.
I hate you.
Yeah, I don't know if you're that good.
Just
at
after
that,
this,
actually.
I'm gonna stuff you in a locker.
Hey, I'm used
old
to
school
it.
bullying.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Yes, we were. Back in the day.
We'll talk about that a little later. Back up. But yeah, so I think I started doing this. So I started falling in love with the idea of like creating my own stuff, like doing like the comedy podcast kind of vibe, and like it's not just so much comedy, but like sitting around and having a good chat with people, kind of thing. That's what we're doing here, and I fell in love with it a little bit. And now I want to do this full time.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
a
hope,
really cool
hope
thing
I
to
can.
do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then me and Matt now are going to branch out and start doing content and going around campuses and messing with people. Right, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I will. And then he might show up.
Yeah, the content is like going around. You gotta start pushing people and saying, like, "It's a prank, dude. The camera's over there. There's just nobody over there." You start running.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. That's what we should do on Halloween. So.
I'll let you do the first guy.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, I want you to get the spotlight.
Thanks. But yeah, so I agree with you that I think like doing more creative things is a lot more fun, especially than sitting around teaching history all day.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine me doing that now.
Well, as long as if you're teaching like the boring history, like Thomas Edison,
Light bulb.
John Locke, Franklin Roosevelt.
Oh, so important history.
Important, but
I don't know. I just named some historical figures right now.
yeah, doesn't interest you. You find boring, you find monotonous and everything.
Their names kind of sound a little weird. I don't think they're very cool.
Yeah.
But like, if you learn the cool history, like what happened in Fort Knox. You know?
Yeah, talk about Vietnam only.
What happened in Fort Knox?
Oh, so I'm hearing you don't know.
And only talk about that.
You know what? I haven't taken that course yet. I'll take the
know.
Fort Knox course.
They like to teach you the boring stuff, but why don't you look into the Thunderbird, Fort Knox,
Start naming.
what happened in Antarctica in 1960.
What happened in Antarctica in 1960?
Well, there was... So it all started with this guy named Franklin Richards.
All right, you're done. It's over.
And that's what you've been off.
It's over and done.
Well,
it's fun learning about history. It's fun learning about how we gain all the territory we own now. You know what I mean?
so you're pro-colonization? Colonialization? You like colonial...
No.
Oh.
There's a difference.
Are you pro-imperialism?
So you're basically like, am I pro like when we went to? Am I pro Manifest Destiny when we took C to C?
Oh my gosh, I remember.
100%. Was I pro us taking like the Philippines and Cuba and stuff? No.
Do you know about
Because
Project...
that was colonialism.
You know about Project Northwoods?
No.
No? Oh, brother.
Wait, Matt, who was the president that made the Panama Canal?
Who's the president that made the Panama Canal? I could tell you.
I'll ask you guys too.
Oh.
If you want. Oh, no, just him?
No.
Well, like, I can
pass.
get, but I
Hard
guess if
pass.
you give me a timeline, if you give me like a date of like the year, then I can probably. Maybe
It was Richard Nixon.
It was not Richard Nixon.
Okay, so you don't know the real
Watergate.
history, do you?
Watergate.
It was like the president during the Spanish-American War.
The Spanish-American War.
Grover Cleveland.
No.
Were you even there when that
I
happened?
don't know.
You were there with the Spanish-American
Yeah, I
War?
was
No,
alive.
it's
as
right
well.
one of the presidents who has like those boring, stupid names.
He's
Harriet Tubman.
it begins with a T, and they've made
Truman.
They've made
No.
stuffed animals about
Teddy
him.
Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Oh, Teddy!
My first
If you said Night at the Museum, I would have definitely said the correct answer.
What?
Yeah, I'd be like,
If
yo,
you
he's
said-
that
if you
guy.
said
No,
Night at the
because I would have
Museum.
said Night at the Museum. He'd be like Robert Williams.
Yeah. Like, if you
He
said-
should have been president.
I only know
Yeah,
he should have been
he should've
president.
the Night of the Museum is that's the movie where the guy goes boom boom fire
Firepower.
power.
That's Museum
Yeah.
2. That's number 2.
No,
That's number one.
One is
That's
the
two.
gum gum. Wait, dum dum.
The
Give
Yes.
gum gum.
And then it was
Yeah.
it was 2 because it was like boom boom firepower.
He's the statue.
Yeah, the
in,
statue.
Yeah.
he's the statue in one of the
In the-
Smithsonian's.
Yeah, he's in this. Yeah, he's in the second one. Yeah, and then you had the little Einstein bobblehead dolls.
Top
that are
tier
all-
franchise.
You seem to know a lot about this movie.
Yeah, I watched it a lot.
You
as a
learned about it
kid.
in your history class.
No,
They would never. They would never.
but yeah. I mean, that's important history right there, man.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Where was the first tree that Abraham Lincoln cut down? Wait, so you don't know good
Kane
history?
impression.
It's good. I'm gonna just guess Illinois,
Illinois.
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Sure.
No matter what you say, I'm gonna make fun of it.
I don't know. I saw on Twitter like there was a meme that was like something about the Louisiana Purchase, and the picture under it was Popeye. I don't know, but it was like, yeah, it was like I don't know what the caption was, but it was like, yeah, it's called the Louisiana Purchase. And it's just Popeyes in the New Orleans. I'm like, this is hilarious. I need to find it, but it was like,
I think it would be better with the caption.
But it's
Yeah, the caption.
But it's so interesting learning like how we got Alaska and all that stuff. Are you not interested in how we got all those territories, or are you just like we got them? It doesn't matter.
Well, you know what I'm interested in?
Like we like owned the Philippines at one point. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Actually,
Do you know what time?
I'm actually in all seriousness. Did you actually know that or no?
Yeah.
Liar. What? Dude, it's a
I
liar.
didn't believe 1 minute of that.
He's like,
Philippine,
it's
you
like,
know?
yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm interested in abiogenesis. Now that is the history we want to
All
learn
right.
about.
Anyways, we've gotten so off track. I don't even know where we started.
All right,
Because I was talking about my old history.
Right.
about directing certain
There you
Your
go.
shows,
old majors.
right?
So then Matt also at one point going way back because Matt, this is Matt's fault here. I'm blaming Matt. He was a
always.
computer science major as
I do
well.
remember
I remember that.
that.
I was like, I remember that thing I told you. God bless you, because
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how
And now you-
people do that.
And now you're a philosophy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big philosophy guy.
That makes so much sense for you, though. I just feel like how you think and how you process and how what comes out of your mouth.
And how much of an a-hole
Call me
you
an
are.
idiot.
Like I think that all makes sense.
real talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think a lot of professors also fit my sort of my vibe.
Yeah.
Right. But you know, the computer science professors, it's like you know, you're sitting there and they're like,
Hello, Matt. Welcome to class.
it's not actually binary. It's 10 by 12 bit. Like, and then and I'm like, all
I don't know.
right.
Classes probably have my brain deteriorating.
And then there was and then it broke me when I got the teacher that was it was first year of her teaching, and she had the hardest accent I've ever heard, and all the students in the class put their head down. It wasn't even me. And there was nothing I could do about it. You know,
Nothing.
You know, somebody would be like, repeat that, and it would make less sense.
So now she got like her English got worse next time around.
Like, I don't even know.
If they should repeat that again for a third time, it would just been fluent her original language. Oh God.
Yeah,
The
no,
lives we live.
Yeah, but I think that it's a good thing that we all switched. I think we're happier doing what we're doing now. I mean, did you stick with just theater from?
Oh no, I came in sociology.
Okay, sociology.
I also came in with the Delulu. Well, I was thoroughly interested in it because I watched the Truman Show one day, and I was like, I need to discover how people in society operate, because how did they literally trick this man to think that this was his life?
Yeah.
And I find society very interesting because people are weird, and especially how they call us sheep. I want to find out who the real sheep are.
You think I'm a
Matthew
sheep?
Kiskin. But yeah, no, I remember sitting in them classes and being like, oh, this is cool. But then I realized I passed the class, but I was like, I can't do this for the rest of my 4 years.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm wasting big investment in scholarships that I've earned and my parents' money and everything. So, and also, Xsy was a big help in convincing me to do theater because I was like, she definitely converted me, and I was like, oh, because we both had an interest, and I've always wanted to act too. That's like all when I close my eyes, that's all I see. It's either that or teaching, but that was one of them. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna switch too, because you're doing it, and I think you're pretty cool and everything. And I think we did this together. And then we took our first acting class together with JJ Cobb, and then it was then on from there, and it's been like that ever since spring of freshman year.
Now, are you acting in the play?
I am not.
Oh well.
No. I mean,
I am.
I meant to point to Karynn, and then I point meant to in your
It'd be
play.
like that.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
We get mixed up all the time. It's fine.
That's not what I meant.
It's okay.
He's the one that called your roommate Amani.
Nah, because I practiced. Tiffany was like, "Watch your back." Tiffany was like, "Don't sleep at night. I don't want you to sleep at night."
Dude, I saw Tiff the 2 days later, and I was like, "Wow, he's an a-hole, right?" In the elevator.
I know. After that, I could literally feel Tiffany placing curses on me. I felt like a bad aura around me.
You probably heard in your
I
sleep.
your
aura is
texted
green
Tiff
with
that, and then I walked out of my room, and I was laughing and giggling. It was like Tiff was like, "Yeah, tell him he's cooked." And I was like,
So we got on the elevator. Tiff walks on the elevator, and I walk in the elevator like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I don't see her. I don't say her name. And then Matt gets on, and I was like, and I bumped Matt to say hi, and Matt's on his phone. He's like, "Oh, hey, Amani," and then
it happened like that.
and then Tiff went like this, and then I went like slowly turned. I was like, "What?" And I said, "What?" And then she was like, she's like, "My name," and then she didn't say anything. She was like, "Huh?" And then you're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. What's your name again?"
No.
It was all a bit. It was all a bit.
It was satire.
And then she said,
and
then she said it was Tiff, and then she said it's Tiffany, and then she gets on to your guys' floor, walks up, and then the elevator closes. Like, wow, you're an a-hole. And I messed with him the entire way up, and I was like, wow, you're a monster, and all this stuff. And it got in his head so bad. He told me he texted you guys after that.
Yeah, Tiffany. Please don't.
I'm so sorry.
Tiffany.
Because I said it wrong, and then I was like, wait, I'm like, please, I'll make it up to you. Wait, hold on, chill. Like, it's just like, no, you're racist.
She called him racist, and I thought that was the funniest thing.
Bro.
Yeah, that's
Not
real.
Tiffany gonna be on your head for the rest of the semester.
When I was in the elevator with Tiff, and I was like, I can't believe he called you Amani. She's like, yeah, I don't even look like her. And she was so heated. And I was like, oh my God. I should have recorded it when I talked to her in the elevator. I should have been like, hey, can you send this to Matt?
Because if she sees you in person, it's not going to be hello. It's going to be you're racist and I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Don't get away from me.
She'll get in your head.
Yeah,
It
she'll
is
get in
what
your
it is
head.
now.
And she's like, I'm kidding. It's fine.
It was the funniest thing. And then I felt bad because I messed
now.
with him. I messed with him so much that I started talking to him, and I was like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It happens. And then you're like, no, it doesn't happen. It can't happen. This doesn't happen to me. So he pulls out his notebook on the table, starts writing her name. I was like, this guy's obsessed.
At least the effort.
I thought you were trying to put. I thought you were trying to put.
effort there.
I thought you were trying to put a curse on her. He's writing her name out so many times.
I started writing her name backwards.
Yeah, it's like I thought you were trying to like Bloody Mary her in the room. I was like, get out of here, dude.
Tiffany just spawns up behind y'all.
Yeah, I was getting nervous.
Because we get mistaken all the time and we don't look alike.
anything
And they'll be
alike.
like, oh, Xsy, hey. And I'm like,
be like,
Xsy's
hey,
on
Karynn.
stage.
I've never made that mistake.
Yeah, because you don't
That's
say names.
Him.
Because Tiffany entered the elevator.
Yeah,
you're
because
like,
I was going to just say to you, if you don't know their name and you forget their name and you know
don't
who they
say
are,
it.
just don't say it. Just like,
I do all
hey,
the
how's it
time.
going? And then that's what I do. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Because then I don't look like an a-hole.
Yeah, but then I feel like when you say, hey, what's up? You know, if I were them, I'd be like, what's my name? What's my name?
So what's my name?
if someone comes
What's
up
my
to me
name?
and they're like, hey, Liam, I'll be like, what's going on? Like,
Especially if someone says my name first and then I don't know their name. I'd be like, hey, Hey, bro.
Yeah, it's like,
man?
It's like
Yeah.
I can count the amount of times people come up and be like, Liam, what's up, bro? And then people are like, what's up, man? And I just dab them up.
Well,
and that's it.
you know,
Yeah,
Like,
and then
move
get out of
on.
there.
Yeah,
There's a thing about, people respect you more.
Well, Matt, you're
when-
just racist. You know,
it's finally come
You
out.
have
I can finally
prejudice
say it.
in your bones and in your body.
You're like it's coming out.
It overwhelms you constantly. It's the Anglo-Saxon in you, bro.
You're just racist.
Hey, I literally
people-
can't control it.
People will mistake us because, oh, sorry, you have the same hair. No, we don't. It's
No.
like, oh,
This is
hair
the only
always
time
mixes
where we
me
have
up.
similar hair.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
the only time.
And this is just by
especially
coincidence.
Karynn
But even
wa-
then, it's not even that similar.
No, we have different colored
Yeah.
hair, and we're not even the same height.
Exactly.
She's half Puerto Rican. I'm fully black. I don't know how you can mess that up.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. They'd be
I'm like
oh.
I'm like a couple inches taller than you.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
I'm
not
just
even the
white.
same shade of black.
Yeah, you're light skinned. I'm like in the middle. I'm like
Yeah.
in middle school they'll be like, oh, you're like a undercooked cookie. Like you're not fully baked, but you're also like not fully like, undercooked.
I did a DNA.
You're just.
I
in the
did a
middle.
DNA test and it told me I was like 100% neon white. I was so white. It was
Neon white.
like
Neon white.
They said to me they had to reject my sample.
Ancestry sent that back to you. Was like, yeah, bro,
You're glowing,
You're
actually.
just really white, and
From the future.
yeah, no.
You light up a dark room.
Would you
Yeah.
ever do a 23andMe, like those ancestry?
I mean, I actually did. Not joke. Like I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
See,
What-
my mom did one, so I know.
What's
half
my
of it.
percentages?
Yeah, what's your percentage
Yeah.
of loser?
I'm like 33% Irish.
Oh, that makes. I can see that.
Yep.
Irish and
Yep.
Scottish. It said.
Can
and
I
then-
guess the other one?
Sure.
Polish.
Polish. Shut up.
Was I right?
No, I'm 20% German.
Yep. That's my second guess.
Guten Tag.
12% mixed of a bunch of things.
Probably
10% like United Kingdom mix again with like Wales and Scotland
Ooh,
and
Wales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
I can definitely see the whale in you.
shut up. And then something else. And then I'm 1% Israelian.
Oh.
So I am a Jew.
Shalom.
Shalom, everyone. Shalom.
Shalom. I'm a member of the Jewish Community Center. so
Shalom.
Karynn is-
Shalom, my brother.
I'm very devoted to the JCC. Both of my parents did it, and I know I got some Ivory Coast, some Ghanaian, some United Kingdom for colonization purposes, and yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I think I also, one of my relatives on my dad's side looks heavily Asian, and we're really trying to figure that out if I have Asian descent because they look very Asian and they're light skinned. And a lot of people on my dad's side are, you can't say this word, but mulatto, which means like mixed, but you can't, like, that's a slur. No one say that. But for racial purposes of the time period, it's like you're white passing, like you're really light skinned, and like a lot of people on my dad's side look very white passing,
Yeah.
and they have like green eyes and like
I got
dark hair.
I got like gray blue. I got like a nice gray blue going on. I do.
No, I don't see it.
You don't see a lot of things, do you?
You have glasses on.
I used to have blue eyes, and now it's more darker. I think now.
Mine are like super blue or like super
Okay.
gray.
Do
Like
they
just
change colors in the
Yeah.
seasons?
Yeah.
Those colors are very similar.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna
Are
hurt
they?
you.
Let's
And
get
then
a
we'll see
color
how
palette.
all the colors you change into after. Black, blue, and red all over.
Yeah, no, you're done, bro. You already got Tiffany and now
and-
Liam.
Well, Liam.
Well, that's like every day, but
yeah,
you know.
Liam's always on me. You know,
Yeah.
he's my biggest hater.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's how I know he's actually the most jealous of me. You know?
No, sure.
I feel like you would definitely buy a shirt that says "I love my haters." I feel like
Oh yeah.
he would
should.
buy that.
Actually,
should.
big reveal.
It's like my undershirt.
I looked over for the big reveal. I was like,
I was like, oh, or is it tatted on you? Is that it's on your chest? Tatted on your chest.
Yeah.
Let's take a little break, and then when we get back, we'll talk about what we were talking about earlier about the freshmen. Now,
Yes.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know, I'm talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
freshmen.
Get ready.
shut
I
up.
think I got
All right,
a lot of news.
we'll be
on
right
that.
back. And we're back.
Hello.
What's the worst ones, man?
These headphones right here.
Does yours work?
I think only one side works. Now that I have,
Hey.
yeah.
That's better than zero sides.
Yeah, I don't think mine's work.
Oh, we can swap. Mine works. If you
We'll
want.
talk about what we were talking about earlier about the freshman thing, but we just were talking because all 4 of us were in a program called Step Cap.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
God, how many years ago now? Like 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
About
A long time.
2021.
Yeah, it was before we even started school.
Yeah.
It was the
Summer
summer
of
before we started
2021.
college. Yeah.
Yes, 4 years ago now.
Dude, I was not 16 going into Step Cap. There's no shot.
You
4
have a-
years ago?
Yeah. You turned
Wait.
17 freshman year.
No. No.
Unless you didn't.
No, I didn't.
Well, you're turning 21 this year.
Yep.
You turned 20 last year. 19, 18. So you're 17.
Are you telling me how birthdays work?
So you're 17. You're 17 going in.
Aging.
You're 17. So it was like 3 years. It's 3.5 years or something like that.
All right, as long as I was 17
Yeah,
and not
something like
16,
that.
I'm fine with it.
You were not 16. Just reminding you.
Thanks, man.
Anyways, we were talking about because you guys reminded me of my amazing roommate Arrow.
Yes.
I used to have a roommate named Arrow, which was not their real name.
No.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even know.
It was
I didn't
what
know
they
that.
chose.
Oh, more you
Yeah.
know. Was not their real name, but they preferred to go by Arrow. Before I tell that story with Arrow, we were also talking about one night you guys had a Just Dance thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that was
so
our thing.
We ended up. Well, actually, Karynn didn't live on the 5th floor,
Mm-hmm.
but I got moved to the 5th floor due to housing complications.
Yeah.
And I would just like, I don't know, I would try to convince everybody to hang out and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I kind of put on Just Dance, and then we would just have Just Dance nights.
Yeah.
All the time, but there was one specific night that's like ingrained in my memory, which you guys came down.
And I was dating someone at the time.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And then she was down there and she'd message me. She was like, come down here. Da, da, da. It's like, cool, whatever. Come down there. At this point, me and Kiskin like knew each other and we had each other's contacts, but like we didn't really like we never really hung out.
We weren't like full fledged.
we were full friends yet at that point. But after that night, we 100% became friends. I come down there and everyone's just doing Just Dance. I jumped in for a little bit. I think I jumped in for like
For a
one
teeny
song.
bit.
And I was like, you know who would be the funniest guy doing this right now? I said, Matt Kiskin. I text you and I was like, get your ass down here, 5th floor. We're playing Just Dance or something like that. And you're like, I'm on it.
On my way.
Yeah. And then you come down to the 5th floor. You walk in. I was like, get in there. Get in there. And you're like, what? I was like, dance. And then you ran on the dance floor. And then you started dancing.
It started going ballistic.
I know.
Ham,
pretty
you were
sick,
going
bro.
ham.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Like-
just remember being next to you and I'm dancing and like shaking
I'm
blonde
like,
hair.
I'm like
shaking.
going vigorous.
Visceral.
Yeah. You had
Visceral.
super long hair at the time. Too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was like,
Your hair was dry
Like,
when you came
yeah.
down.
Yeah.
and it wasn't when
Yeah.
by the night was over.
So that you keep dancing, and then I start sitting on the floor because I'm tired from dancing, and then I sit on the floor and I'm looking at you, and I pull my phone out. I was like, "Put your heart into it. Put more heart. More
put your heart into it.
There's not enough heart in it, man."
Right,
And you're
and
like,
every-
I'm trying. And you
Every
can just
time
start
he
going
said
hard.
that, I just start going harder and harder.
Had been playing for like I think maybe an hour and a half
Yeah.
before you guys even came down.
Yeah.
So the way sweat beads were flying off of
Yes.
your body, I was like,
Sweat
what is
beads.
going
They're like
on?
Orbeez.
You did that for an hour straight, and then I was yelling at you for an hour straight, and this was like, that's been a relationship ever since then. Me yelling at you,
know.
and then you just doing.
I know. I would come over. I like came over to you. There's like some intermediate in between the song, and I would like try to grab you, like come like dance with us, and it would literally like slip off.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
you grabbed my arms, and then the sweat, you couldn't get a grip on me. And then eventually you stopped dancing, and you came down, you lay on the floor, and I grabbed your feet, which reeked because you smelled, and I dragged you down the entire hallway, and you made the snail trail of sweat the entire way down and around the corner. It was disgusting, and I was laughing so hard because it was so gross.
I literally had to encourage you to stop. I was like, can you please stop?
Yeah.
Like, please sit down. I'm genuinely concerned.
Somebody get this kid to stop.
Yeah.
I was like, do you need water? And you were
Yeah.
like, no, I'm good. I'm ready to go. And I was like,
yeah.
no,
Because I was an a-hole. I was just like, more hot, You need to put your heart into it. And
Basically, till he had no more heart.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you put all your effort and your heart into it. It showed. It showed that night, and that's why you're going on Just Dance tonight.
Tonight, Just Dance finals.
And then I remember freshman year, we did a dance off between me and you. Remember we did that?
Well,
Dance
it was
off.
it
It was a Fortnite dance.
Yeah, so we
Fortnite
played
emo
all the
dance
Fortnite emotes,
Yeah.
all of them, and then basically we both did the emo, and then whoever like did it better gets the point.
Yeah.
right?
We did it
And-
for like an hour,
What?
and I was in jeans and boots, and they hurt so bad.
I know. But did you get any blisters?
Oh yeah, and I was sweating. And he was too.
I don't know. Like
We started pushing each other, and everything. But that's another time. But Arrow was my roommate,
Yeah.
and Arrow was a character. I'll just tell you that.
by the way, all of the roommates back then was it was him,
Cole.
Finn, Cole, and Arrow.
Yeah. So you have
everyone was
Arrow, you have hey guys, what's going on? Cole. He
Right.
sounds just like that, right?
He does.
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm not gonna say he
I was in
doesn't.
the room with. I feel like I was in the room with him right
Yeah,
now.
you see? And then Finn, you know Finn. You met Finn, yeah. So then it was just the four of us, and then we're out eating at lunch. Because we have our like lunch times and all that stuff. We just get out of class, go to lunch. And it was me, Finn, and Cole. And Arrow wasn't there. But Arrow, because he'd always grab his lunch and run back to the building and eat in the room. So we're like, all right, cool, whatever. So then we just were like, all right, we're done eating, let's go. We walk back, we get in the elevator, go upstairs, yada yada. We get to the door. We open the door, and then all of a sudden we open the door, and then it's just this giant like cookies on the floor, and there's just all these cookies broken up, and I swear to God, like a breadcrumb trail just placed by the door, all the way leading from the main door, taking a left by the counter all the way down the hallway and ending at the two rooms where Finn's and Arrow's rooms were. And then we're like, what the is going on? Why is there cookies everywhere? And then we're in there, like we just walked in, and then Arrow walks in behind us. So Arrow comes in behind us. So he wasn't in there either when we found all the cookie trail and all that stuff. So we're like, all four of us are like, what's going on? Like, what is this? And then we're like, Arrow, did you do this? And he was like, and then he was like, no, it was Finn. And he was blaming Finn because Finn's a bigger guy.
What?
Finn's a bigger guy and everything. So he was like, it was probably Finn. Finn probably had all the cookies and went to his room and all that stuff. And then
My God.
Finn's standing at the end of it, at the hallway where his room is, and just turns Arrow's door handle and opens it, and there's just this pile of cookies all over the floor.
No way.
That's my God.
And then Finn was like, bro.
He's like opening the door. He's like, hello.
He was like, bro, like, are you kidding me? You're the one that did this. He was blaming, he was trying to put all the blame on Finn because he thought he could get away with it. And then as soon as we called him, he was like, oh yeah, my bad. And then clean it all, and then clean it up, and then
That's
didn't apologize to Finn or anything. Just-
That's embarrassing.
trail?
Yeah, the cookie trail.
There's so much I want to know.
Yeah.
There's so much I want to know.
And then like one night we're in the dorm, we're relaxing, and we're just sitting in the common room, and I think you were over. Maybe, I don't know if you were over, but we were playing Switch. I know me, Cole, and Finn had the Switch, and we were playing Switch. And then we hear just a bunch of like in his room, just a bunch of
Yeah.
ching 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 ching, like whatever stuff you hear. And we walk in, and I just knock on his door. I was like, Arrow, hey, what's going on, bud? He's like, nothing. I'm busy. And I'm like, okay. And then like literally 5 minutes later, I'm still hearing like all this metal clanging and shit in his room. And then I knock on his door and it's like, buddy, what's going on? He opens the door and he has like, like the pretzel jars.
Yeah.
He has like 2 full bottles of pretzel, like 2 empty bottles of pretzel jars there, but just like pennies and nickels and quarters all over his floor. And he was just, apparently what he was doing was just doing this and like throwing them up and sprinkling them all over himself.
He was rain dancing with nickels, pennies, and
It's
dimes.
literally something like Gollum would do.
Oh my god.
He was just apparently when he said he was doing this, he just throw him up and then just let him rain on him.
I bet that hurt. I bet that fell on his head and he probably didn't.
I haven't told that one, I think.
That was
What is he doing?
Rain dance.
I'd be.
And then he would just scoop him up and just drop him on his head. It was the funniest.
That's
And then I was like, what are you doing that for? And he was like, I'm gonna organize them now. And he started stacking them up.
I'm gonna organize him now. After he got caught in his rain dance, like I'm gonna.
Oh my god! I felt like one of those scenes where like it's a cartoon. They're just swimming in the sea of coins and stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, his
Monopoly.
room was just full of quarters, and it was like you couldn't walk on the floor without stepping on a penny. Like, it was just filled.
Maybe he was superstitious.
You have to do that
It's a
before going to
ritual.
bed.
A ritual, yes.
Yeah, maybe
I
he's
had-
manifesting more money.
I had change in my pocket. I should have gave it to him.
Well, if he's trying to manifest money, why do it with pennies?
If you need, at least give me quarters.
It was just pennies and like dimes and nickels. I don't think there was any quarters in there. It was just small change. Just
Well, that probably would have hurt
maybe
more.
he's manifesting like doubloons or something like that. You know, old money. Okay.
it was rain dancing.
Yeah, I'm like the moneymaker dance, like literally.
Something Mr. Krabs would do.
Yeah,
Oh god, yeah. I have so many more stories.
our arrow stories are like nothing like that,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
they're
yeah.
just as
We
weird.
were just always confused. We were like, oh, okay, Arrow is chasing the elevator.
elevator,
Again.
pressing the
All
button
7 floors.
down the stairs,
Running up and down the stairs, chasing elevator.
and he'll come out like, "What's up, guys?" And we're just like, he's out of breath, and we're just like, he's like, "What's up, guys?" Mind you, braces. He had braces, but
Yeah.
there would be like food in his
Yeah.
braces,
Yeah.
heavy. Like I had braces as well, but I was just
Yeah.
like, "You're."
Yeah, but you didn't
a
clean his
prime-
braces.
No, I'm like, you're a prime example of what
Yeah,
not
we
to
never
do.
like talked to Arrow, but like
Yeah.
we never were like, I don't know, we never actively
never
went our
spoke
way.
to
We would
him.
always just be like, oh hey.
But he
Yeah.
came over to
But
us.
he always
Yeah.
felt super comfortable with us
Yes,
for some
and then
reason.
I
he'd just
remember
be eating
that.
salad
Yeah.
only and have a computer, and then
Yeah.
would just like be laughing at our jokes.
Yeah.
Wouldn't know what they
Yeah.
were about, but he was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, Arrow would thought we were the funniest
silent
people
laughter.
on earth.
On the first day of Step Cap, he brings in all this food in the dorm, and he brings like ice cream tubs and like a bunch of frozen food, and then like this bundle of bananas and stuff. And then a few weeks go by, and that bundle of bananas have been sitting there untouched for like a while.
So they got brown.
So then we were like, we need to throw these out because he's not eating them. If he gets upset, I'll buy him a whole new bundle of bananas. I
Yeah.
don't care, but we need to get rid of these. Finn goes over and grabs the bundle of bananas by the stem. They were so old,
No.
they unpeeled from like they literally unpeeled themselves from the thing and fell to the floor.
nasty.
And I have a video of Finn on the floor holding the peeled bananas, laughing, like rolling, laughing back and forth with banana pieces.
That's so terrible.
like that's so.
He was waiting for them to get to that spot to go and eat them.
I would have been speechless.
Oh, dude, it was
Maybe
great.
he was waiting to make banana bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro had it ready. I'll tell you
Right.
that.
Yeah, wait a couple of weeks, and you got bread right off the banana peel.
Like
Bro, it was crusty enough you could get a crunch out of it,
Ew.
probably.
Oh.
Oh, God. All right. Well, enough about my old roommate. Before, we were talking about these freshmen nowadays.
Yeah.
And God, I'm sweating from laughing. But we're talking about the freshmen nowadays, and I was talking about like we're just comparing like how we feel as
Yeah.
older
As
adults.
seniors now.
Yep, adults.
Not you. You look like you're 12.
Hey guys, you can get a kid's meal anywhere.
I wish.
Bro's,
They banned me from where I could get kids' meal.
drinking from the Kool-Aid still. I don't know.
The jugs.
Yeah. But yeah, we're just talking about that, and just we were talking about like I was talking about like wrestling today because I wrestled as freshman, and I just felt so old compared to wrestling,
Yeah.
and I'm 21 and I feel old, and this guy's just young and like just like energetic, excited about stuff, and I'm like, dude, this stuff sucks. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Why are you
Yeah.
excited about life right now?
yeah, like I was like, this is miserable. But we were talking about as well, like we came from a generation. I feel like not generation. We're the same generation as
Yes,
them.
but it feels different though.
It feels like a 180.
Separate.
We did
Yeah.
not
Very
start
separate.
high school online, and that's
No,
I
they
think
did.
that's the really that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
key difference here is we we started high school before
All right
the
then, mate. You're
20s,
listening to the Lounge
it
Around
was-
podcast. Stick around for
Well,
more.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
It was 2019, and then 2020.
No, not yeah.
And 2020 was the year that COVID happened,
Yep,
and we were going
then
Yeah.
we started high school in 2017.
2017.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, that was like,
The year of rap.
it doesn't feel like it, but honestly, like I was transferring I was transferring over credits, and I was just like the professor was just like, oh, I wasn't here then, and I was just like, oh, okay. He's like, what year are you? And I like cringed saying the year. There was just something about it. He was just like, when did you take these classes? I was like, 2018.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm old. Like
Yeah.
at my high school now, they're doing that thing where you have to put your phone in like a sleeve.
Oh, in the
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes, they're doing that now.
So I wrote for
did
the newspaper. I
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
wrote a whole article about that in the
Oh,
newspaper
wow.
here. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
no, I was just like, I'd be so mad if I was. I'd be so
I'd be
mad.
upset.
what?
It's like a
they
cyber lock.
They started
Yeah.
doing that at
Yeah.
the end of my senior year more. Right, and what people would do is that they'd take out their phone from the case and they put their case in, and then they'd see the case, be like, "Oh, their phone's in there." And then they start using their phone behind it, or
Yeah.
they'd bring in their old iPhone and put it in.
I had to do that at my job this summer at a summer camp. Even the kids had to put their phones in lock boxes, but the employees, we had to put them in my boss's office, and we didn't have them until our break. I was like, hello, I'm grown. I don't.
Yeah.
I can have my phone on me. Like,
Yeah, I think it's such a different
Different
lifestyle
Yeah.
because like for me, like I can live without my phone.
definitely.
Like
Really?
I went to like a summer thing this summer for like 3 days, and I
Yeah.
just didn't
the
literally
grid.
had not like I had my phone, it was charged, but I couldn't use it. But then all these other people, like all the kids around, like, oh my god, I need to get my streaks. My friend, and like I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter.
Well, streaks do matter. People will stop being friends with
People
you.
people pay for them now.
People are
99
paying for
cents.
their streaks. I
I
can't.
I get
I had
that.
too much pride for that, but
Yeah.
We were talking about just probably different level of experience because, I mean, from my experience in high school, it was just getting made fun of
Yeah,
or
getting-
Yes.
Getting put in lockers,
Getting put in lockers.
you know,
Yeah.
sharing together.
yeah, just the vibes of just like kind of like people knowing their place kind of thing like
Yep.
that. And it's not like I'm saying I'm not trying to like pull High School Musical and be like you're supposed to be in this group
status
of,
quo.
the
Stick
status
to
quo.
it.
But like that's basically what it was in my high school, at least, where it
Yeah.
was like you're literally like here, you're here, they're here. You know where you belong, kind of thing. I wasn't really in a status
A
thing.
hierarchy.
Yeah, a clique of sorts.
Yeah.
So I just
High
was
school
like, I was just
hierarchy.
free flowing it kind of thing,
Yeah.
and I just would. It made sense for me to be like, well, I know these are the nerds. Not trying to call them nerds, but I'm a nerd. But like, I know these are the nerds. These are the theater kids, and these are like the jocks. Like I know
Yeah.
these are who they
Yeah.
are, and like that's like you say a name, you're like, oh yeah, he's a football player. He's one of the jocks. Like he's a tech guy. He's one of the nerds and stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he likes Marvel and stuff, like the things I like. You know, and then you like the theater kids, like, oh, they're the theater kids. They hang out and do whatever they do. I don't know. Like my sister's
Whatever
a
you
theater
guys
kid.
do.
I don't know what you guys do. Yeah.
I wasn't a theater kid.
No,
I'm a theater
yeah,
major.
Yeah, back
I know.
then. no.
Big difference though.
I know.
I was
I'm a
never
theater
a
major.
theater kid. No.
Yeah, my sister was. So
Yeah. Some
yeah.
of them aren't too bad, but like now that I'm a theater major, when people are like, "Oh yeah, I was a theater kid," I'm immediately like, "What kind of theater kid?"
Yeah,
were
what do you
there's
mean
like
by
the,
that?
There's like the Soviet Union singing theater kid, T-Pose,
Yeah.
Big Chunky,
Yeah.
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 There's just
which I think I was one of them. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know. There was also, at least for my school, like I fit into like a lot of the categories of groups, so I got to see like a lot of the dynamics
Yeah.
between them, right? Because I was obviously in the nerd group. There's the nerd, the / theater kid group, like those kind of like combined a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there was like the popular, like the
Yeah.
more popular group.
You're not saying you're part of that group.
No, they came to me and like asked me for Fortnite tips. That's basically, that's basically what happened.
That's
and then
funny.
there's like the there's like another group that was like the second tier popular group. There was like a different there was like a different tier, and they were kind of like different. But yeah, those were like the three main like groups.
Yeah, because I feel like looking at these like freshmen nowadays, like I can't tell with them. Like, you could tell with people.
You can tell.
Like at least from my experience, you can tell like you can tell they're freshmen, but you it's hard to tell like their vibe because they don't even know what they are, because a lot of people discover themselves, in my opinion, more in high school before they go to college, and then they kind of know who they are, and then they go to college and then they fully express it, kind of thing like that.
Yeah, they come out of you. You're not afraid to come out of your box.
Exactly.
College.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of the freshmen are still boxed. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like they're still boxed, and they're kind of in an obnoxious way. I'm not gonna lie, but like trying to impress.
Yeah, the social cues are not there.
Yeah, and it's like, but it feels like, because I'm like, I feel like you're just not being yourself. Like I was in Hurley, and there was literally yesterday, and there was some like freshman in front of me, like in the drink line. You know, I was waiting for my roommate to fill up her water bottle, and one of them's getting cranberry juice, and the other goes, cranberry juice? Why are you drinking? Oh, also, he was like staring at us before, like and making this like weird, like mischievous grin towards us, and he was like, cranberry juice? What are you like? He didn't say it, but I'm gonna like, he said swears. But he was like, "Oh, cranberry juice. What are you, like a girl or something?" And that was like, and then like laughed so hard, and then kind of looked at us. And his friend was like, "No, I just like cranberry juice." And I walked away. I was just like, "That was such a hard watch. That was such a hard watch. Why? Because you're not impressing anybody."
Because God, I don't even know. There's a freshman I've been wrestling with, all that stuff. And he texted me literally just now. We just said it during the break, and he was just like, he just texted me. He's just like, "Hey, sorry, couldn't get back to you. I'm banging my neighbor right now. I'll tell you all about it later." And I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like,
you didn't even have to put that in there.
You could just say, "Hey, sorry, couldn't get to you." Like, I don't need
period.
to. Like, I
know you respond like, "Yo." Like,
it just feels like they're like, "That's pretty cool, right?" And I'm like, dude,
especially as a senior, we don't care.
I don't go to anyone I know. I don't go to Matt and be like, "Hey, Matt, do you hear about the girl I had over last night?" And
because you don't.
Did you hear us?
Exactly.
No, but it's just like nobody cares.
Yeah.
We don't care if you were out smashing the whole campus. Or if you've just been in your room for 2 weeks. Like,
I can give two.
Like, did you see the last episode of Euphoria? That's what everybody wants to know. Do you know what I mean? Like, have you played? I don't know. What are games?
But I feel like
you play a new Fortnite season.
I feel like to give them some leeway too. Like we were all like that as well.
No,
I feel like we were like that in high school.
In high school,
that's what I'm saying.
I was like, I don't think. I was like,
they're stuck in high school.
As freshmen here, I think we were very to ourselves.
Yeah,
and I do think they don't express themselves as much, but it's just when they do, it's like it's just not themselves. I
feel like when they express themselves, it's an over exaggeration of it.
It's a performance.
They get into college, right? And then they have this idea of college, probably from like I don't know, movies like media like Project
which
X,
we all do,
like,
but it's just
they take it too far. Dude. You're getting orange juice. What are you, 3?
Like going up to somebody like, "You getting cranberry juice? What are you, old?
You're being nice to the workers. What are you, an idiot?
Are
you poor?
I just feel
you're
like
cleaning the table.
I feel like they're so desperate to like get out of that box that it comes out in over exaggeration. So they're trying to like over exaggerate on everything they do, so that whatever sticks with certain people the most, then they're like, "You're my people." Then you're with me and I'm with you, kind of thing like that. And now my over exaggeration will probably be less tame with you, and now we're a group, kind of thing. Like, and then everyone else doesn't have to worry about it, kind of thing. And I think that makes sense to a certain point, but then you're kind of like overdoing it, and then you're also at the same time like, that's not how a lot of other people college function.
We don't have like groups of people. Like there are some like like obviously there's friend groups and stuff like that, but I feel like people are very like, you're cool with who you're cool with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think like they're trying to build back up that sort of status quo thing in the freshman stuff, which is fine, but it's gonna backfire super hard on them eventually, because then when they're seniors and they're still trying to pull that, and then the new freshmen that have gone through high school the right way come in, they're gonna have the same conversation like, they're all just like chill and not doing this and and like we have like the stats like you're in this group and that. It's like I don't care nowadays. Like you're a football player, I don't get.
Yeah, you play
cool. Like I don't really care.
Even in high school, I don't think like we had cliques in my high school, but like I was never a status quo kind of kid. I kind of was just like in school and out. Like I obviously did extracurriculars. Like I was in marching band, but I was also the basketball manager, but I also hung out on the bleachers outside of the football field and was doing bad kid stuff. And then I also was a AP student at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Like I was just like, the intersectionality exists, guys. It works. It happens.
I used to, in high school, used to preach to elementary schools the dangers of smoking cigarettes and jewels and doing pills and drinking.
And whatnot.
So
a lot of danger.
I was that kid in high school who basically, if I really think about it, I sat with the outcast table. It was like 3 of us at a table and no one ever sat there.
Yeah.
But I was a chameleon enough to hang with the nerds and the popular people if they allowed me to.
Yeah.
It was mostly just because I was nice and I minded my business, and sometimes they asked me to do their homework and I did it. But I sometimes, not all the time, like, it was classwork. They'd be like, "Can you like do this?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
But it was just mostly because people for a long time in high school didn't talk to me because they didn't think I was nice, because I was very to myself. And they were like, "Oh, I thought you didn't like me." Well, how would you know if you didn't ask? I'm sorry that I just mind my business.
Oh, I got a resting B face, I think.
Oh, me
for
too.
sure.
I have
Same.
RBF bad.
Unfortunately.
I have so many
do you
videos
think
of
I think
do?
I have a resting cutie face.
Yeah. That's why
like
that's
you.
why all the girls swoon over
That's
you.
bars.
Yeah,
right
actually,
there.
in high school, I like didn't talk to any girls. I only talked to like the men, because the girl there was some
Because you
vibe-
liked kissing men.
Yep, that's the whole point. You got me good. But like, I feel like they had some sort of vibe. Like a lot of the girls were like, I hate the way they treated certain like kids as like pets. Like, I don't know.
Yep, I know
You
exactly
know.
what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're
that's
talking about.
I hate that. And I feel like
That gets me so angry when I see that. So
hey, best friend.
angry. Because that happened so many times in my high school. And there's one time when I'm walking down this hallway and they're yelling at this kid, just yelling his name. I'm not going to say his name, but like they're yelling his name, trying to egg him on, dude. Like, be like, come on, man, do the thing. Do the thing we all like. And just trying to like,
Yeah.
Do the roar.
and I'm like I'm in the middle. The kid that you're yelling at is in front of me, and I'm like, at this point, it's my senior year, and I'm like in like boots, jeans, jacket, like I'm like full on like what I wear nowadays now. Like that's why I started developing my style. So I looked like a scary dude, because I was also like one of the tallest people in my grade.
Yeah.
So then I turned around and I was like pointing at the guy's face, like shut the F up, and I started yelling in his face. I was like, leave the kid alone. Like, what are you doing? Like, and this kid like basically shit his pants. Like and then I had class with that kid I yelled at in his face, and he walked into class and he was just like he just walked in class, he was like, I'm sorry, it wasn't like that. Like apologizing to me. I was like, I don't want your apology.
say it to the
I
other
don't
guy,
want it.
yeah.
To apologize to the other guy. Like I don't care. And then in front of the whole class I was like, you guys want to hear what he did? No one cared. I don't care. It was embarrassing him. So no one really cared in the grand scheme of things. But I said it. I yelled it in front of the whole class and in front of the teacher, and I didn't care. The teacher was like, "Oh, calm down. It's fine." I was like, "No, he's
Settle down.
he's an a-hole."
Exactly.
And I was like,
Being a
screw this guy. And then that kid 2 days later messages me found my Instagram DMs, and he's like, by the way, I apologize to the guy. I was like, I don't need a sit rep on your life. Like,
You're like,
I apologize.
Thank you for spreading good around the world.
I was like, thanks for letting me know. I don't like it's
Being a
like
humanitarian.
like I want you to feel how that guy felt in that moment, which I made you do in that class and in the hallway. And that guy never looked at me ever again. Like that kid never looked at me again.
Yeah, no, there's just something about like treating people as pets. Like, it was just always so hard to watch. Like, I'd just be like,
it's such a
Please.
disgusting behavior.
stop.
Yeah, no, I wanted to like
They
hurt
are
them.
people, especially if it's like a quieter person or, I at my school, I had a larger school, so we had a program that was pretty big for people with special needs and disabilities. And oh my gosh, when I tell you, some of these girls would like pick the people who were in said program and like parade them around like they were some kind of pet, or like take pictures and videos in the hallway like, oh my God, this is my best friend, this is my bestie. And I'm like, I'm all for being kind and like, you know, like treating people with special needs and disabilities like normal people, because they are. But I was just like, what are you doing?
That's why
like, why are you treating them like they're not a conscious person? What is going on?
That's why I hate the show Love on the Spectrum. Have you seen it?
Oh, I have not seen it.
I hate it because I feel like it's like,
I don't think it's like that.
From my experience, from everything, like I see it's not fully like that. They're trying to help them out, find love, but I see so many like implement like not. I'm trying to think of the words.
A lot of the same characteristics between the two.
Yeah,
that's where I'm like,
the
where
audience, because I've only seen clips of it, and you know, I'm like, it seems like they're just talking to each other and going on like normal dates and stuff like that, especially sometimes with accommodations. But I feel like I see a lot of clips online of the show. Like I've never seen the show; I just seen a lot of clips online. But it's like the comments are just like that. Do you know what I mean? Like they're like, what's it called? Like
infantilizing.
Yeah, they're like infantilizing them, or like, it's just the comments are so weird, and I'm like, okay, guys, what is going on?
Yeah, he likes the show or whatever.
I think it's fine.
I hate it because I feel like it has the same vibe. It's not the same exact thing, but it has a lot of elements from like, you could just tell like the producers are like, before they're like, just say this like one thing, like we want to hear this for like and all this stuff, like and they're like, sure, because you're helping me out, you're my friend, I'll just say this embarrassing thing on live television, where you could have cut it out, but no, we'll keep it in because
that's like all reality though.
That's why I hate because it's almost like with like reality shows with like normal people, it's like, well, you're just so stupid that you let that happen, kind of thing. Like you know not to say that, but you said it anyways because they told you to say it, kind of thing like that. And you have everybody be like, I'm not gonna say that. But then you have these people where it's like they don't know better, and then you're like, you should say this, and they're like, sure, I'll say this because I trust you, and I don't know any. Like it's, you know, for me, it's just like, I feel like you don't see it, but like you can just tell from behind the camera how they're doing it. You can tell like how they coax certain stuff out, and it's just like, that's what I hate about it. I just like it's not what they show, it's like what you can definitely infer, kind of thing like that from it, you know. So I don't know.
Why do you like it, Kiskin?
Yeah,
because I like seeing the you know, the social dynamics between like two people that obviously have like trouble socially, trying to you know, get rid of that barrier and become like comfortable with each other, right? Like, you know, you see, like they have to get used to each other's quirks, and you know, they have to do these certain normalized like speed dating things, like they were doing like 1 minute dating, right? You know, you see how they go through it, and like how it's like it's a neat perspective in my opinion. That's
especially because like not normal. People who don't. People who no.
Freudian
people who
slip.
don't.
boat horn sound.
No, people who don't deal with the same struggles that they do. Like, we all go through that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? One way or another.
Yeah.
Especially Liam.
Yeah, I go through it every day. Well, this has been the Lounge Around Podcast. Your host, Liam Saranich. My co-host. Never mind.
It doesn't matter.
I don't want to say your name.
Yeah.
Can someone else say it?
Say my name.
You could say it.
I don't want to say it after
Yeah.
that.
Oh.
I'm scared.
I'll pass.
Heisenberg.
Kiskin. Anyways, special guests, Karynn and Xsy.
Yes.
Thank you guys for coming on.
No, thank
thank
you.
You know, you guys were the stars of the show.
Oh, please.
I'm sorry about, you know.
Good night.
Thank you and good night.
Right there, mate. You're listening to the Lounging Around podcast. Stick around for more.